government's game plan for the new normal for the country after the enhanced community quarantine. Time now to go above and beyond the headlines. We speak with Public Works and Highways Secretary Mark Villar. Thank you, Secretary Villar, for joining us this evening.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, Sec Mark, let's begin with this now. I understand you have a draft proposed guidelines for construction after the EZQ. But this has yet to be finalized by the IATF, and as a matter of fact, they're still deliberating on this. But what is DPWH hoping these guidelines will turn out to be? What do you have in that proposal?
Well, we always talk about the new normal, which obviously up to the time that we get a vaccine or a cure for this virus, we have to adjust to this new, to life with COVID, with the specter of COVID. So we've drafted some guidelines with the help also of the private sector that would ensure the safety of our workers and allow us to continue with our infrastructure projects because it's really a big part of the economy. We have a lot of infrastructure projects lined up. So it's very important that we find a way to continue these projects while maintaining a high level of safety for our workers and the community.
So, Sec Mark, when you talk about high level of safety, for example, we have the physical distancing, either 1 to 2 meters apart. We have wearing a face mask, gloves, etc. What else? And I am presuming that that is part of your guidelines. So these are the rules that will be set for construction companies, for example, and for DPWH personnel. Ganun po ba?
Opo, syempre kailangan yan. Given na yan, yung mga PPEs, safety equipments, nakadetalye po sa aming proposal. At pati yung social distancing, that's I think given anywhere, whether or not it's a construction site. But sa bagong guidelines namin, naglagay din kami ng mga additional protection. For instance, even before they enter the site, they will have to, we are proposing that they be tested. All the workers who have, prior to entering the site, must go through medical examination, must go through COVID testing to ensure that they are not carriers of the virus. At the same time, and after entering, we're proposing that they be quarantined or they be limited to their living quarters for the duration of the project. This is so that we monitor their movements and we make sure that none of them will bring COVID-19 into the worksite. And once they enter the worksite, of course, aside from the social distancing, we also put up additional facilities. There will be medical nurses on hand. Their daily movements will be monitored. There'll be, of course, hand washing facilities, disinfection facilities. There are a lot of provisions in addition to the social distancing. And we believe that this will ensure that the safety of these workers and the possibility that having them together might contribute to the spread will be significantly reduced, if not eliminated.
So, Secretary Mark, ang ibig sabihin nito, the workers in all these construction projects will be housed by the construction companies and or DPWH precisely to lessen the risk of their exposure to COVID-19. And at the same time, you were saying, for example, kailangan i-test sila. So that means before they enter the work site, in other words, talagang housed sila, hindi na sila makakalabas doon for the duration of the project. Ganun po ba?
Yes, that is correct. That's the way we see it. Siyempre, kung hindi kasi sila naka-house sa project, hindi natin alam kung saan sila pupunta. Hindi rin namin monitor lahat ng movements nila. Kaya sa tingin namin, napakahalaga na kailangan talaga i-house sa site itong mga workers para at least ma-monitor yung medical condition nila at para ma-sure din namin na hindi naman sila na-expose sa COVID-19. Looking forward, of course, up to the point that we have a cure or a vaccine, we feel that through this, we can ensure that none of the workers will be exposed or will expose others to a possible COVID-19 threat.
Mm-hmm. So huling tanong na lang po, Secretary Mark, itong Build, the most ambitious infrastructure project program of the Duterte administration, hindi po magagawa ganun po ba mangyayari? Hindi na po magagawa lahat ng proyekto. Kumbaga, magpa-prioritize po kayo ng mga big ticket projects at yung mga maliliit na projects, yun yung medyo isasantabi na muna. Is that what's going to happen?
It's at this point the big ticket projects are still go. We have not given up on any projects. Of course, the funding issue is a different issue. We'll see how the funding of the national government will affect it and how long this COVID-19. But of course, that's a situation beyond our control. But as far as we're concerned at this point, we assume that all projects are a go. And of course, syempre magkakaroon po ng konting delay at baka kailangan po i-adjust itong mga timeline ng konti. But overall, once we achieve the new normal, I believe that we will get the build back on track.
And also pala, isang pahabol na lang, the guidelines will include penalties for construction companies that do not follow the rules.
Yes, definitely. We will be strict. We will strictly enforce all these guidelines. Of course, we all know that there's so much at stake with regards to the safety of our of workers and the spread of COVID-19. So we'll be very strict. In fact, we'll be assigning more personnel to supervise the sites to make sure that all these are followed. And if they do not follow, then definitely we will sanction and we will sanction heavily the contractors.
Secretary Mark Villar, the Department of Public Works and Highways, maraming salamat po, sir, for joining us this evening.